Here we go. Look at that.
Wow.
To be totally sure. And we're live.
So, are robots finally ready to do our laundry? Could clothing someday actually repair itself? And are ordinary silicon chips about to go quantum? Well, these and other topics we're going to be discussing tonight on a August, boy, it sure is hot outside edition of Inventor Friday. I'm Don Skaggs, your chief cook and bottle washer around here. Run the organization Acture. We help inventors, entrepreneurs, anybody with an idea for a product or a business. I would be amiss if I did not talk about our sponsor tonight, and I've got to do a share screen. Hang on, folks. Here we go. Our sponsor is Kinetic Business. So if you are not on the internet, and believe it or not, I have seen some folks, they don't have a web presence, they don't have a good web presence, they've got a Gmail, they're not ready for prime time, and they're an entrepreneur. Well, not being on the internet really well in the 21st century is kind of like not having your name book in the phone book in the 20th. So the good people at Kinetic Business have provided us here. They're our sponsor. They provide us with a wonderful 1 gig internet, which is how you get to hear me tonight. So be sure and check them out. They've got some great programs for small businesses. Go to business.gokinetic.com and they'll help you out. So again, wonderful sponsors of ours, and they've really helped us out. And while you're on the internet, well, you want to be sure and check us out on our website, and that's actionetwork.org. And we've got a lot of cool stuff going on right now. You can get an all-access membership. We've got a bunch of cool links here of all the different places you can go. Membership, if you missed a meeting, want to see a replay, Empowered Inventing Academy courses, one-on-ones, and what's coming up. So you can keep track of, oh, look, here's a Inventor Friday. Well, that's on right now. You could also go, we got a new little button over here. You can now Acture from anywhere. Well, what does that mean? Well, hey, let's find out. Well, we have a page that talks about our new open house we had just a few weeks ago. So we have opened a new facility here where we have our studio, where you can rent warehouse space by the pallet. You can we have a founder start grow space, remote business. If you want to have your own business headquarters, well, guess what? You can have them right here, and you don't have to overflow your garage and park outside where squirrels get up in your engine and chew through your wires. Yeah, that did happen to me. But anyway, go to our website, click on that button, and scroll down and tell us what you're interested in. Do you want to? Are you looking for storage? Are you looking for 3PL fulfillment? Are you looking for a place to work and meet? We even have a multimedia studio. Or even something else. Just let us know, and we'll be excited to talk to you about it. So with that, I want to introduce our guest tonight, and I think we're going to start. Actually, we're going to start with Leo tonight.
Hey everybody, Leo Young, copywriter, VP, podcaster, and just glad to be here. Thanks.
Also with us tonight is David Dienhart.
Hello, David Dienhart with W Designs. I'm a maker focusing on designing and modeling for 3D printing, laser cutting, and mold making and casting.
And also with us tonight is Justin Radcliffe.
Guys, Justin Radcliffe, partner and VP of Sales Partnerships and Licensing at Bizarre Bunny Studios.
And almost last, but not least.
Thank you. And some Renson Davenport, Renson Electric, and so I'm a local entrepreneur, second generation electrician, just all around good guy.
I'll vouch for that too.
Yeah, I'll vouch for that. What's up, guys? I'm Bennett Gatto. I'm a physical therapist. I'm the founder of Kinnovate, where we produce functional apparel aimed at improving posture and reducing pain.
All right, and you're probably wondering what are all the cool things that we're talking about tonight. Well, the first one is actually an invention in history from August, and Leo's going to tell us all about it.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about Isaac Singer, and he's just such a great example of like an American success story because he was the eighth child of German immigrants, so not the best leg up in life. His he's a cabinet maker and mechanic, and he tried his hand at acting. That was in theater, of course, because that was in 1820, so not exactly Hollywood era, but ultimately he ended up coming up with a massive improvement to actually like sewing stuff, commercial sewing machine. Couldn't think of the word commercial. So he actually took it to Boston, tried to find investors, ended up working at a workshop of a fella named Orson Phelps. And really, the exposure to that was what allowed things to just totally take off. And one of the reasons I want to mention that is one, his background, again, kind of an American success story kind of deal. But also, the reason I think it's worth mentioning is that he didn't invent the sewing machine. He just saw a pre-existing one, realized that some improvements could be made, and ultimately proved it to a point that it's pretty much on par. It's not changed dramatically from what he's come up with today. I mean, even now in sewing circles, and I don't mean that as a pun, although it ended up being that way, Singer's kind of associated with that. It's associated with high quality sewing products. So to me, that kind of begs the question, what's really more important, you guys? Making something first or taking something that's already out there, already has a market, already has association, and making it better? What's y'all's thoughts on that? How about you, David?
I think they go hand in hand. I mean, I think you have to run before you can walk. So you have to get that initial invention out there and then iterate on it.
Yeah.
So he took somebody else's invention and iterated on it and made it more mainstream. So I think that's pretty important.
By the way, totally off topic, not to derail us, but David Deanhart Dabu, was that deliberate to be alliterative, like 3 days in a row?
What's that?
It's alliterative, David Deanhart Dabu.
They all start with the letter
Just
D.
a total coincidence.
Well, so Dabu's David mispronounced by a child. So that's
Oh, gotcha.
So,
Okay.
Serendipity then.
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah. Well, what's everybody else's thoughts on that? Don, what do you think about improving something that's pre-existing?
You always hear the negative of this of, okay, the pioneers are always the ones with the arrows in their back.
Yeah.
But that being said, the first things that come out sometimes are not usually it's the early adopter edition, if you will, of things. And the first one I think of is just the old clunky MP3 player pre Steve Jobs.
Yeah.
So
You mean you don't like Zunes?
you remember Zunes.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. The first time they come out with it, and usually it's very, very engineer centric, and it's like, okay, yeah, you just need to follow these 27 simple steps in order to get it to work right. And by the way, folks out there is no 27 simple steps. Don't do that. But yeah, I think when you can improve on something, that's just as innovative as if you came up with it originally sometimes.
Yeah.
Especially now in the age of vibe coding, right? I mean, you can take a weekend and and just have the same exact platform you're paying $200 or $300 a month for. So
Yeah.
it's all about who has the end user knowledge to understand what makes the experience the best, right? It's like
See, I was thinking of tangibles, but that's a whole other level of software. That's really cool. Yeah. Yeah. So
I think that end user experience, I think that's it. Because like we can sit here on Claude and by Monday we could have a really cool something out there that has a better experience than something else that people are currently using. People will start using it and then they'll start telling their friends about it. And I mean, we're experiencing it firsthand, just
Yeah.
play it on Claude.
Yep.
So that's true.
Mhm.
Well, because he approved it, there was a lot of litigation. There was a lot of drama surrounding arguments with the folks who had actually come up with the first iteration. This was, in some ways, this was kind of like one of the first true, like novel improvements to actually be highlighted by the patent system. So is there any industries right now that kind of reminds you of that? You know, it's clearly not sewing anymore, but are there any industries that just really seem like a battlefield present? And I'm not even calling on anybody. That's a free for all.
Hmm.
Fight each other for airtime. Because I mean, honestly, I think you actually hit the nail on the head with software. I think it's hard to protect. It's pretty easy for some of the big guys to litigate the result. And yeah, I think right now that's the biggest battlefield currently. But I could be wrong. I mean, AI dovetails with that. But yeah.
Yeah, the big thing is if AI comes up with something, does it belong to AI or does it belong to you?
Exactly. Yeah. Right now it's considered a tool, but as it gets better, is it going from hammer to inventor? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still think of it as a tool.
I think it's a
It's-
tool.
I agree.
I don't think it has the creativity to come up with the ideas and implement them itself, so.
Yeah. I mean, I heard a comedian actually, he was ridiculing somebody actually because they were talking about how amazing AI is, and he was talking about like it was self-aware. And the guy said something to the effect of, well, when AI looks at you, and the guy just lost, he was like, AI looks at you the way a mirror looks at you. It's like it's not really looking at you.
Right.
You know? So I thought that was a good analogy.
One of the trippier AI experiences I've had lately, and I would recommend everyone here to sign up for it, and it's called Boardy AI, BOARDY AI, and it is an AI super connector, right? So the first thing it does, it gives you a call. You talk through you talk through your company objectives and what you do and all of that with it. It takes about 20 minutes. It sets up a weekly call with you. So you go through all of your introductions for the week. And when I say that it has made some of the best introductions that I've ever gotten in my time, I mean it. It is so good. It's gotten me in front of some partnerships that I've launched just within the week, right? So would highly recommend, but it's this weird process, right? It pops onto the Zoom call with you. It's got its own little avatar. It introduces everybody on the call. You can ask it questions. It gives you a follow-up review, right? I mean, it's really, really cool. And I can't speak enough to how quality the introductions have been on a global scale as well. So
And it
wow.
seeks those introductions out, like who it should be introducing you to.
oh yeah, every day I get 2 or 3 introductions minimum.
Oh wow.
It's,
Yeah, I
it's
gotta
really
try
good.
that.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was the name of that?
Boardy AI, BOARDY. And I came across it on Twitter or X, or whatever you want to call it these days. And it was posting and I just started bugging them every week, and it finally led me into the group, but now it's a paid service. It's like $100 for the year or something like
That's not
that.
bad.
But it's worth it.
Yeah.
It really is.
So basically you have a software product that you're trying to sell or get integrated. You go tell it all about it and it goes out, finds who you should be talking to, and it sets those meetings up. Then you can do your demos.
Oh yeah, and you connect your calendar. You don't have to talk to the person. It sets up. Nobody's no showed me yet. Everyone showed up.
Wow.
It's a good.
Dang, they don't pay us, but they should.
If the good people at Boardy AI would like to show us some love, we are a 501c3 nonprofit and we do take sponsorships. So
Well, they take no referral fee as well. So
Ah,
yeah. So
nice.
yeah.
Well, moving on from sewing to sounds.
yes,
You're up.
yes, I am. All right. Well, we're talking about August 12th, 1877, just a minute ago. Thomas Edison's phonograph. So it's traditionally associated, that date is traditionally associated with the development of the first phonograph. Although historians do believe that the working model may have actually been completed several months later. So while working on the telegraph and telephone technology, Edison realized that the sound vibrations might be recorded and then reproduced. So he took tinfoil and put it on a cylinder, and next thing we knew, we had a screen share where I'm supposed to show you pictures. Hang on a second, folks. Here we go. We go from sewing machines to, there it is. Kind of hard to see, but well, I can't get it to blow up. But this is the original phonograph, courtesy of the U.S. Department of the Interior. And there's a more of a commercial version, the home phonograph. But the experimental machine recorded sound using a stylus and a tinfoil covered cylinder. So not the record album as you would, the vinyl record that you would think of from back in the day. The technology eventually helped launch an entirely new industry built around recorded music, entertainment, and audio communication. And that kind of begs the question, what innovations would today might look like novelties, but actually might be the beginning of something really big that we never thought was going to be really big?
Personally, I gotta say, I think Pokemon Go was the beginning of people realizing how useful augmented reality could be. Like it was just a novelty when it came out, but like once it came out, I think people started really mulling over more practical uses of AR. I could be wrong, could be totally anecdotal, but that was at least my experience. So it was, seeing that take off, which by the way, I never played, so this is me being biased, and then seeing AR in general, augmented reality in general, take off. So that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, and we were talking about that a little bit with someone in the early show about and the first time I saw it, I mean, it really was just wild to see you point at your desk with your phone, and all of a sudden this critter pops up and starts dancing or walking or crawling around on your desk, and it was almost a little freaky, but yeah, I mean, is that still an early photograph?
I think so. I'm not seeing a lot with it. I've just seen a lot of concepts, more or less.
Yeah.
I've seen up in, I think it's maybe New York or something like that. It's called Sinister Inn, and it's a VR augmented reality haunted house. So
Oh, wow.
it'd be kind of interesting to go to that.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you wouldn't bump into things with a VR helmet if you could see through it, then you're seeing things on.
Oh, I've seen people do that though.
Oh, really?
They get scared when they're ransom.
Yeah, from my background, being in the trades, I think that'll be a phenomenal thing because, unfortunately, in our world, there is a big push. Let's say the end 90s, 2000s, everybody go to college, go to college, go to college. And then we have this huge trades gap. And so to be able to use this augmented reality to train, someone virtually, because I had to learn the old hard way. You go into somebody's house. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You learn to test, but you go in there and you're working, but you're learning, but you're having to work and push, and you don't want to destroy this person's home. So it's very stressful. I mean, because that's where I got it, was OTJT. So on the job training. I can see how this would be a benefit for any skill like this. Let's say for nurses, for example, how to push and do a needle, something.
Yeah.
I could see the huge benefit in this, and really being able to, facilitate those skills in a safe environment and like you're talking about, not getting shocked. So, some kind of personal thing, they're like, oh, you didn't check the power button, like
Yeah.
it blows up or something.
I
Yeah.
was thinking of
It's a
welders,
quick
you know,
lesson.
not burning your retinas out.
Right,
Right, yeah.
exactly.
Oh, it was a number of years ago. I was at a university and they had a whole new AR system where or VR system rather, you put on the VR helmet and you are all of a sudden in a factory. And so you're performing an XYZ task. And I don't know where it went, but I remember they demoed it with me. This was the early days of VR though. So you had the big helmet you put on. I swear I got so car sick. And it was like a meeting. Well, how do you like that, Mr. Skag? And I'm like, oh yeah, it's great. Let me take it off real fast. But I was like on a tilter whirl. I got out of that thing. But I think they've gotten much better with it now. So, today's equivalent of the phonograph, is that another thing is, I was thinking of this was QR codes, and QR codes have made a comeback. I remember probably the early 2010s, and this great. I think I was in New York City, and they had I saw QR. Oh yeah, you can call up this Uber driver or whatever, and with this QR code. And it was my first experience with QR codes, and I remember this is so cool. And then it just kind of died.
Yeah.
But I swear I'm seeing it everywhere now.
I think the shutdowns more than anything, like, because I mean, there was a time where all the restaurant menus you had to scan to utilize, which I kind of actually miss in a weird way, like more so than that sticky paper menu.
Right.
But I think that played a big role, and I think also it hit a better like saturation. More people understood it. I think that was a lot of its big problem at the time.
Well, now that it's integrated with your phone and your phone can do it easily, just with camera, you don't have to learn a new app or type in an address, you just scan it and you're there.
So David, you think the phones just had to catch up?
Well, I think phones have helped. I mean, with a lot of things, because now you got a computer in your pocket for pretty much everything you need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a big part of it.
So one last question. If recorded sound had never been invented, how different would music, radio, podcasts, movies, social media be today?
Man, there'd be some good to it. People wouldn't have social media issues. But I mean, can you imagine every bit of music was performed live and only live, and just from your own experience? And it'd be a vastly different world. I'd struggle even to picture it, really.
Yeah, watch this YouTube video maybe a month ago or so back, but it was younger Bob Dylan playing in like this courtyard, and it's just and he wasn't famous at that point, and he was pretty young, and there were probably like 50, 60 people that was just gathering and experiencing that together, and that made me think about how awesome of a time it would be to stumble upon that, and it's not something that you just have in your pocket, and then it's like this actual experience, because I love live music. That's like what I do in my free time. So I don't know, just be able to experience that where it's not, because to us it's so mundane and we're habituated to it, and through the access, right? But I don't know, also it'd be cool to step back in time to experience something like that, like walking up on Bob Dylan or somebody like Robert Johnson or somebody like that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, people would be more physically social in a central location and not just online, right? Because a lot of people enjoy music and they'd have to get out and enjoy it that way. So
Yeah.
wouldn't be a bad thing, I don't think, in some ways.
How many concerts have you been to where everybody just got their phone out?
Oh,
Yeah.
And
vacations, concerts, theme parks. It really that is my get off my lawn. Like, because it's like you're not seeing the sunset, you're not seeing this concert, you're not seeing Cabo. Everything's just through your phone. You should just stay home.
Yep.
yeah,
I don't get
then watch it on TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
was thinking about my great grandparents, some from Greenup County, and they owned a small, just a small like grocery store, like stuff, like goods. What I don't know what it was called, right? But
Dry goods.
yeah, a little
Mhm.
dry goods store, and this was this was 100 years ago, right? So they I just I wrote a short story once on the concept of it being a gathering place because it's, back at that point, there wasn't really, especially in Greenup, there wasn't really, there's probably a town hall, right? But there wasn't a lot of stuff built out. And it's like you think about where you see other people, it's like church and, the dry goods store. So it's like, I was,
I mean, back then, like the normal date you'd ask a girl on was to pull taffy. That's not a euphemism. Taffy together. It was like a thing.
Had to add
Yeah,
the
it's not-
disclaimer. Oh, yeah, I mean, and we've got a place right around the corner from this building called Dodd's Corner Market. And it's over 100 years old. And I think I mean, it's active. I was passed by today and the parking lot was full. And I don't know if they're bringing that back some, but it's neat. It's like the old, yeah, well, and they've got other things, and they've got food, and they've got produce, and they've got a lot of other stuff. But there are people that just kind of gather around there. So yeah, maybe it's going full circle.
Yeah. Because another local establishment here, and I gotta give them a shout out because huge congratulations. They just crossed their 4th year mark. Neon Nights downtown here.
Ooh.
And it's a social establishment, but still for a small business, local business, did make it 4 years. Like that's a huge deal.
Yeah, it is.
Right? So we held a big celebration for them last weekend and it was a good time. But so shout out to Bo and Nikki and everybody out at Neon Nights.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, let's move on from phonographs to steamboats.
Yeah, this one, my favorite thing about it will be a letter I'll shortly read in a minute. But so 1787, inventor John Filch showed that he could make a working steamboat and he showcased it on the Delaware River. So like it was not a demo type in the easiest sense. Like he actually showed it off to members of the Constitutional Convention. And a few years later, 1791, both Filch and his rival, James Rumsey, got patents relating to steamboat tape. So this led to a much more dramatic issue than the Singer sewing machine. And again, this was new territory. People really didn't know how to go about figuring out who was first, who was second, how that worked. So this is a letter from George Washington to Thomas Jefferson about this. Mr. Rumsey, at that time applying to the Assembly for an exclusive act, spoke of the effect of steam and its application for the purpose of inland navigation, but I did not conceive that it was suggested as part of his original plan. It is proper, however, for me to add that sometime after this, Mr. Fitch called me on his way to Richmond and explained his scheme. Wanting, by the way, scheme was not a negative word in regard to this. Wanted a letter from me introductory to the Assembly of the State, giving up which I declined and went so far as to inform him that though I was bound not to disclose the principles of Rumsey's discovery, I would venture to assure him that the thought of applying steam for the purpose he mentioned was not original, but had been mentioned to me by Mr. Rumsey. So Filch was kind of first to patent, but Rumsey was really like, he's got a paper trail showing that he came up with it first. So it's sort of a big hubbub about that. Now, we already know, though, for a fact that the first steamboat, like proper, was made by Robert Fulton. That's not disputed. But this particular iteration, it was this big issue. Incidentally, Fulton actually, when he showcased it, he actually made a voyage from New Orleans to Louisville, which I think is kind of neat for two reasons. One, traffic usually goes the opposite way. And this is showcasing like, hey, we don't have to just drift down the river. We can actually go the opposite of the current. But on top of that, I think it also just highlights the importance of trade from Kentucky because that's why it's so flipping big is it's on the river and That's literally why bourbon's called bourbon. It's going down to Pleasant Street. Anyway, but yeah, this was probably the first ever contentious IP situation in our country's history. I mean, to a point that Washington was actually writing letters about it. And Fulton ended up really coming up with it and commercializing that version. But these two really pioneered some of the initial tech, and reason why they didn't get that far really was they were at each other's throats. So to me, that begs the question, why is it? We talked about this just a little while ago off the cuff, but why do some inventors come up with just a breakthrough? Like, they break the mold, but somebody else ends up being famous or rich for commercializing it. Y'all's thoughts on that? Bennett? I feel like a school teacher calling on.
Operate the cameras. What was the question? I'm seriously zoned in. I'm trying to operate this.
Why do some inventors come up with like the real breakthrough tech, but then somebody else improves on it and ends up being the name and get the wealth of
The big
prestige?
commercialization.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's just kind of like one of those things where somebody may not have the original idea, but once it's sparked, they're able to build upon it. Like, why is it always just the one person that has to do everything? You know what I mean? Not everybody's Elon Musk. Or you could even say that the other way too. Like, Elon built on what other people had and took it further. So I think it's just kind of like innovation sparks innovation. So,
It's contagious.
I say, who hired the best salesperson?
Yeah, it's totally fair.
Yeah. But I don't know. Yeah, sales and marketing, that's always funny. It's like especially in the startup world, you see that all the time. It's like there's this really good product, and it's just, you see somebody go viral or something, and then it's just gone, 6 months.
It's doubly infuriating when you see the opposite, where somebody has a great product, but they don't either have confidence in it, or they have so much confidence in it that they're just like, well, people just find out.
Right.
They don't market it. And it's like, why is the guy who makes like novelty vomit so confident in his product? You're in a silo.
Yeah. Almost like TikTok musicians, it's like you see them, online. It's like, oh, this is awesome. And then you go see them live, and you're like, whoa, what's
Auto tunes wasn't turned on.
I think some of it's also timing. And so, for you all, what is the indicator that something's ready to actually show the world, go to market?
I kind of agree with Justin on this. And what really keyed me into this was he produced a wow moment with the product. He ran the thing upstream, which nobody expected, and like, see, we can do this with your other boats. We're going upstream from this place to this place. So it was almost like a Billy Mays. It's got the power to pull a truck or something like that. So I think that's the key with a lot of this is, you were really good at coming up and first developing this, but could you sell it?
Yeah, that's a good point.
I say it's around two, like we have to look at, okay, what were the historical events? Is there something that happened that, caused this inventor to want and desire to do this and change it? Was there something militarily, like maybe around water, he grew up and had to, work and things like this, and a lot of their time they had to fight current. I don't know, and that's always.
I mean, the War of 1812
question.
may have played a role. This is me speculating, but this was around that time.
Hmm.
And so it's one of those things where you had this much more mobile Amerindian and Canadian army who ultimately burned the White House down. So like maybe getting from here to there easier could have been an issue, because we could have gone upriver to them, things might have gone different. I don't know. That's me speculating.
So military had their eyes on it.
Yeah. I mean, Washington's known for crossing rivers, and he wrote a letter about it. So
They had DOD SBIRs back then.
yeah.
I mean, kind of like what you're saying. It's somebody solves a problem, with a solution, but then somebody else takes a solution to solve another problem that they have, so they continue building upon the solution for a different problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so if somebody's never faced with, and I would say, for the most part, innovation comes from problem solving. Like, all right, I have something I need to fix, figure something out. But if that one individual never had problem to solve, then maybe that's why they didn't think of using it in that way or improving upon it to achieve a certain purpose.
That's true.
So
A great,
kind of like the evolution of problem solving.
I think a great example of that's McDonald's. And if you've ever, we do Inventor Night at the movies, let me shameless plug time. But we actually do The Founder, which is a great movie. And but what, and you can look at it and say, yeah, he just swindled those two guys that started that. But I'm thinking on the other end, if he had not franchised it, we would have never known the name McDonald's. It would have been this little San Bernardino thing that nobody ever remembered. Now, I think, bad moves were made on both sides, but that all being said, I mean, the end result was McDonald's.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, he had a loftier view. That covers my segment.
All right, I guess we're moving on to the present day. News, inventions and business in the news. So, this one here is kind of interesting. Silicon chips are being re-engineered for quantum computing. So, in this story here, so one of the things about this, I don't think, do I have a good picture for this, Leo? Maybe I don't.
So
Oh, they're being re-engineered for quantum computing, which to me just kind of blows my mind. It says researchers are working to take something the semiconductor industry already knows how to manufacture, silicon chips, and adapt the technology for scalable quantum computers. Two recent demonstrations reported in Nature tackled the major engineering problems in silicon quantum processors. One demonstrated reconfigurable long-range connectivity between quantum components, while another integrated control electronics that operate near the extremely cold quantum processor. The significance for inventors may extend beyond the quantum computing itself. Sometimes the fastest route to the breakthrough isn't replacing the established technology. It's finding an entirely new use for an existing manufacturing platform. That's true. It's how sometimes you got to be able to get them made. So with that, let me that begs the questions. Will quantum computers eventually replace traditional computers? Or do you think they're just going to be specialized ENIAC?
huge obstacle. If they can get over that, I don't see reason why not. And that's just the temperature. That's the real
Yeah.
problem. Not everybody has access to however -50
Yeah.
Celsius or whatever.
Right.
So yeah, that's the only issue.
Yeah,
I mean, I say that's the only issue.
you're right,
Yeah.
and they're large,
Yeah.
like the original computers that we had back in the sixties, that were the size of a house. I mean.
Yeah.
These are still really large. If you're going to have cooling systems, so if they can put these on more traditional chips, then that would be huge.
Yeah.
Just that would definitely springboard it and give us a lot more power. I don't know. Yeah, just a lot more power.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how they do it, but what if they could? I
Yeah.
guess that's
Yeah.
might be the bigger question here is, what if they could actually, okay, well, here's something we're already doing.
Yeah.
And let's just plug this into it.
Might replace GPUs and CPUs with something that's even better.
Yeah.
I would love a quantum chip in my laptop. Oh, what say you, Ransom?
I have just recently heard about this, so found it fascinating, but I don't think we can just, I don't know, the future, like it's so odd because you think it's gonna go one way and it changes.
Right.
Who saw the AI storm coming? I mean,
Yeah.
like it's massively taken over. And I think a lot has to do with, because I was watching a video on this the other day about like how photography was introduced and people like there was a big backlash and push against it. People didn't want their privacy, now we've got phones, got cameras and all this stuff.
I don't want my daguerreotype taken.
Glasses, people were like, "Boom, take your picture." Like, privacy has gone away a lot, but these people on the beaches, they're like, "No, we don't want cameras. We don't want this. We don't want that." So I think a lot of things like this too is like, if the public receives it, then it is going to grow just naturally. People are going to push more money to it. Oh, the people need, the people want it, and that's the biggest thing because we've talked about this, Don. Like, you got this really great idea, but is there a market?
Yeah.
That's the biggest piece.
Will people adopt it? And even if it is, super cutting edge and it does all these things, the adoption level is. I remember a computer company. I heard the story from back in the 80s that they were trying to sell computers. And you got to remember, this is the 1980s to attorney firms. Oh, you can speed up your time of processing these. No, and you think of the old stuffy attorney firm, and they're like, oh, well, this is the way we've always done it. Why, there's no way you could use a computer for this. So
We like to go slow so we can charge you more.
yeah, that probably was in there too, So but they did a very, very, and again, this goes back to the whole marketing thing. Marketing is king sometimes. They gave them away to attorney students and all of these attorney schools. So they got them all hooked on it. And by the time they came into the firm, it was like, oh yeah, well, we got to have one of these. Look what it does. And that was how they got them to adopt it.
Brilliant.
So what industries you think would benefit first from a quantum computer?
AI and cryptography, I think.
Yeah.
One of the things with AI, the data centers require so much water, they increase their computing power, or even make use of that tech that, in a more sustainable way. Again, it's like me talking about, all they have to do is this. And then similarly with cryptography, like, if we would need most banking infrastructure at that point, like you wouldn't really, everything would be a lot more secure. You'd have to, it'd probably take another decade for like hackers and scammers and counterfeiters to catch up. That's just my thoughts.
Interesting.
See the guy that sequenced a vaccine for his dog's cancer,
Oh yeah.
and then he yes, it was either yesterday or Wednesday. He launched it as an actual company.
That's wild.
That's crazy.
So,
Wow.
yeah.
Cool.
He did that fast too. He just in his kitchen, like figured it out.
Wow.
Wild.
So yeah, so when you think about like applying that to a quantum computer, it's like, gosh, what's possible, And I know they've talked about shutting off the bio capabilities within these platforms to keep people from
Doing something nefarious.
nefarious. So, but but the people who do have access, I think that's a lot of applications. Obviously.
Yeah, all the good things you could do with something like that.
Yeah.
Dave, you look like you got something.
Yeah, I think the gaming industry would certainly take advantage of it because they're a huge industry. They're larger than the movie industry nowadays, as far as I understand. So, they'd be able to make online games that are faster, more detailed, all the things.
And also they've also now there's this company called WebOut, and they're able to take all of your data from your device real time and put that into the application. Right now it's videos, but and they work with a lot of European soccer clubs for fan engagement. So the fan will come in, scan their ticket, and they get like a personalized video, like the players will lift up their shirt and it's got like their picture on their chest and stuff like that. They got like a tattoo with their name. And then there's obviously like click through for purchasing as well. But there, there was a conversation they thought about like how can we apply this to games to make games personalized real time throughout your experience. It's more tailored to you and your interest. But then that also delves into what is the efficacy of taking all of our data for
Right,
even
Privacy issues.
even just for our entertainment purposes. It's like,
We now have a retinal scan of you, but look, you're in the game.
Pokemon Go that came up earlier.
Right.
They sold their data to
That's right.
some nefarious.
Yeah, wasn't the big thing about their stuff all about mapping?
Yeah.
And just like
so
finding a
all you have to
location?
do is have a picture and you go, oh yeah, this is where it's at.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Which maybe not nefarious, but
Uh,
it's gray market at least.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, from quantum chips, we're moving on to. I'll let you.
Fungal clothes, which sounds horrible, but it's awesome. So out in Shanghai, can't think of the name, but I'll come across it. So everybody is familiar probably at this point with cordyceps, just because of actually, oddly enough, video games, The Last of Us. But
Oh,
it's a parasitic fungus that in The Last of Us causes the end of the world. But it's also a well-known traditional Chinese medicine. And it just so happens that at the Chinese Academy of Sciences, scientist named He Li, she started working on cordyceps as a fabric. So what she did, and again, I'm making this sound super simple. What she did was she cultivated the actual cordyceps, which I didn't know until recently, isn't an obligate parasite. I thought it had to have an invertebrate to parasitize, to survive. You can actually grow it on rice. It doesn't say whether they did this or not because they do parasitize silkworms, and silkworms are the only domestic insect. So could be a silkworm farm that they parasitized, could have been rice that they make use of. But either way, she grew them in specialized mold containers. When I say mold, I don't mean like fungal mold, I mean molds. And grew them into sheets, the mycelium, the hyphae, grew in sheets. So then she takes the sheets, adds it to a compound that just removes some of the most hard, not keratin, what's it called, chitin outer layer. And what's really amazing about it is, one, the clothing is technically alive. That's awesome in and of itself. But more importantly, the whole reason why she's doing this, when the clothing is dry, which is most circumstances where you're wearing it, it's just inert. It's not active. If it gets damaged and you wet the spot where it's damaged, now it's no longer inert and it's going to repair itself. So the clothing has the capacity to fix itself over time. So that's where the logic comes from. And she's actually been using other organisms to modify it. And by modify, I don't mean on a genetic level. She's taken Aspergillium niger, which stains dark, to just literally make a darker color for clothing, as well as some other fungi that are different stains. So now you can have red or black or blue, and you don't even have to dye it, because at the end the dye would harm the fungus. You're actually using another fungus that just happens to be the color you want. So things like that. She's also been using another strain to make it more UV resistant, so it doesn't get sun damage, because unfortunately for the cordyceps, it's not great when it comes to sunlight. But in other words, she's making a polymer mesh out of an organism, and it's wearable, and it also infection into the world. So I think that's one of the coolest stories this year as far as any product goes, let alone clothing. So first question for you all, I think you all probably already know my opinion on it, but would you wear clothing that was technically alive?
It takes me to my first thought is the Lady Gaga meat suit.
Oh, yeah.
Then my second thought is, are we going to innovate mushroom clothing?
Yeah.
Hard to tell.
Kind of weird to think.
Still early on. We'll see.
I hadn't really thought about it until now, but clothing really, it's, I don't mean this in a morbid way. It's all dead things. Like, it hasn't changed since we were cavemen. It's leather or cotton or wool. Like, I mean, there are synthetic ones, but it's all ultimately, if you think about it, even the synthetic ones are made from like oil products, which are dead dinosaurs. So we've been wearing corpses our entire history. It's the first time we've worn something that's alive.
Well, until you kill it. You know, because you go, "Oh, I forgot to water my t-shirt.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, that's true. How would you wash it?
Yeah,
That's a good point.
Yeah.
How would you keep it clean?
How would you keep it clean? The first thing I thought when you said, well, you know, you rip it, all you have to do is get it a little wet and it'll repair
Yeah.
itself. What happens if you get out in the rain with it? Is it going to like grow
Yeah.
or?
That's when it gets hungry. That's
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
it gets hungry.
What do you guys think this product, because she's using sleek or color, sorry. You guys see this being more for fashion, or do you see other opportunities there, other industries that would benefit from a material that repairs itself?
You know, I used to always hear about self-healing mats.
Oh, yeah.
And these were mats you could like cut on, but they would, and you know, I think that was more of a mechanical,
Like
whatever.
molecular
Yeah.
memory, I think.
Yeah,
something
yeah.
like that. Interesting.
But yeah, I don't know what else you could. I'm sure you could.
Yeah.
I mean, if they formulate it right, they might be able to use it in the medical field for burn victims or
Well,
something like that, where they need
Yeah.
to cover exposed flesh or something. I don't know, but
I was thinking like car bumpers and things like that. You know, you get a little fender bender, fixes itself.
oh yeah, that'd be kind of cool too, right? Yeah.
Interesting. Huh. And then lastly, what do you think will happen to economically if you could have things that you don't really have to worry about it going obsolete or being broken because it's self-healing? You think this could be bad for some industry that would use it, or?
Buy it for life.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it was the workshop, we were talking about the Soviet cars and, you know,
Mhm.
how that wouldn't work in our current society because you just buy one and you'd be done with it forever. Yeah.
Never, unless you just wanted another color or,
Yeah,
or a
exactly.
different car.
Yeah. Oh, that.
Interesting.
But it's like, it seems like there's always cool products like that in you know.
Oh, yeah. I'm still waiting for spider silk
Yeah.
clothes that's
Yeah.
bulletproof. I'm waiting for that since I was like, eight.
It seems like the sustainable products, the inventors always end up with some crazy accident.
That's great too.
Right.
I'll take my tinfoil hat off.
Yeah, that's accurate.
Yeah.
Well, speaking about lofty ideas, we're going from mushrooms to rosy, basically. So,
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, let's take a look at this. So this is a robot butler that starts with that pulled up. So maybe you've seen some images of this. So this is Weave Robotics, kind of a clothing little nod there, announced its first robot for folding laundry in just 5 months. Let's see if I think I've got a video on here for this. Let's see if we can just play that. Oh yeah, I've got to optimize, and I did not do that. Well, I think it was just music playing anyway. So
oh, yeah. Don't worry about it.
pretty ominous music though. I want to say it was the music from score from 2001.
Oh, yeah.
Open the pod beta doors.
Yeah.
But now I know this is a demo and I know it's an early, but looks like he's moving pretty slow.
I'd be scared to fall asleep on the couch. I wouldn't want to get folded.
If he could move slow, who cares if it takes him twice as long as it takes a person?
Yeah,
The person doesn't have to do it.
That's true.
Yeah, he's not in my way and just doing it while. Well, I wouldn't want him making the bed
What
while.
company is this?
This is. What did they call themselves?
Sunday Robotics.
Yeah,
Oh, no, that's
Weave Robotics.
Weave Robotics.
Weave Robotics.
yeah.
So yeah, so pretty interesting. So companies, well, there has been Figure AI, Sunday Robotics, and Weave Robotics are all three using laundry as training ground for clothing, because clothing is surprisingly difficult for machines to manipulate. Unlike a rigid factory component, every shirt, sock, towel, bends and folds and lands differently. Mundane tasks, therefore, test robotic vision, dexterity, AI, decision making, and the ability to manipulate unpredictable objects. So they remain expensive and slow. That's my first thing I thought. But robotics companies believe mastering tasks like laundry could help unlock more capable household robots. So so what do you all think? You think you would you have a Rosie?
I, so my mind goes to this. Okay, so what if it has a glitch and it decides to fold the clothes while you're in them? I'm just like, I'm like devil's advocate about what
Yeah.
happens to this machine, because everybody jokes about it. You know, grew up in the Terminator era and all this stuff. It's like, okay, so when do they turn on? It's not is the question. But I mean, really, like it decides to make the bed. It's 4 in the morning. It has a glitch.
Well,
4 in the morning, you're in the bed. It's starting to make it like, no. It's like, where's the kill switch? I mean, these are some of my thoughts around that. Personally, I always go to the kind of the comedic thing. I just that's
Well-
what I want. Works in swirls.
Yeah, every time I see stuff like this, I think, okay, has no one watched The Terminator? And or iRobot, or of course, I forget how that turned out, but there was a whole scene where like they all turned on them. And they were almost, that was actually a little closer to what we're seeing now, which is it's weird. Justin, you look like you've got it
Well-
really good.
Well, they do that. That robotic conference in it's in Asia. I'm not sure, Japan or China, every year, and they do the karate.
Oh, yeah.
They do like
The martial arts stuff.
the leap in the abilities of those things in just one year is really mind blowing. So I'm like, next year it's like because I'm looking at this Neo home robot right now. It's like it looks like a person.
Mhm.
It's 20K. I mean, it's like
Yeah.
that's less than a new car. So
And people are going to buy it.
I mean, Elon's talked about how Optimus is gonna come out and be somewhere around 20 to 30K, and by like 2030, they'll be in people's homes, like, and probably even before that, but just like doing all kinds of stuff. So like honestly, looking at this, it's like, oh, that company's just so far behind what Optimus is already doing. Like they're ages behind. And just watching it, I don't know, maybe their whole idea is to work on specific tasks and then just sell that software to the other AI company or the other robotic companies. I don't know. But watching some of what Optimus is already doing, it's like, oh, that's child's play.
basically, yeah. And to your point, if they have like a home defense add-on, like what if it turns on you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay,
Well-
one more. You guys remember RoboCop?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, they see
Yeah.
the Ed 209 series, and the guy drops the gun, throws the gun, you have 26.
Right, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
50 cal blows him apart, So yeah, I'm of that generation too. Like
Yeah.
to point, in application for military, what is going to be a friendly and a non.
Yeah.
What
And we're already there.
Where to go?
We got robot dogs killing people right now.
And drones and all that, yeah. Yeah.
Did you see the video of the one like going down a hill, a rough hill about 90 miles an hour?
Yeah. Makes you glad this one's slow, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think a single purpose robot, the vacuum cleaner is one thing where that's a small device that just sits in the corner. That one's a little bigger. Can't imagine people are gonna have a half dozen of these to say, this is the dishwashing machine, this is the vacuum, this is the folding, and
That's true.
that just becomes too much.
It'd be one thing if the appliances themselves were automated, you know, the
Yeah.
stove cooked for you and, well, the dishwasher, I guess it does wash. It's just. You know, that'd be a whole other matter. But yeah, in terms of space, yeah, that's a good point. It would have to either do a myriad of tasks or it would have to be relegated to like the machine that is associated with the task.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also funny how the home robots that they're trying to make them look human because there's really no reason to,
That's true.
there's no reason to give them 5 fingers and
Yeah.
2 legs, like, you know, so.
Is it just to make them feel comfortable or is it? Yeah.
It's a little unnerving in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's to make the robots feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Well, here's a question around it. So with this as well, because I can see this being the future, people being offered, okay, you got this robot with this single task mind, but for an upsell, we can give you something where it progressively learns. Like I could see something like that in the future where it's learning your particular home.
Oh, yeah.
It's like becoming like part of the family per se of that source versus honestly just doing a task.
Right.
You know, kind of like we can personalize what all the different things
We
like.
don't buy Rosie.
Yeah.
Rosie's a monthly subscription. Yeah. Rosie is a service.
Yeah.
If you don't want Rosie to turn on you, you just have to keep the payments up.
Well, and then there's really the question too, is like spying, like looking in on you, governmental, like we're going Big Brother type stuff.
Oh, Alexa would never do that. would
I used to jokingly call it wiretap.
it?
I mean, that is the question. At what point, you know, the individual having control over it and,
Yeah.
you know, someone else having a virtual like ability to do that.
I think that's what it comes down to, trust and can you trust? Yes.
Think of that, it can fold clothes. So what's to stop a burglar from hacking it and having it unlock and open a front door at 2 a.m.? You know,
Yeah,
there's a lot of things you could do.
Exactly.
And if you're spending any time in, especially LLMs where it has your whole company
Mhm.
knowledge base and your knowledge brain in there, and once you start interacting with these things and understand the level of depth that they can extract from just the little bit of information that you give them, and it really is, it's like, you know, you start to put it together. It's like I'm just at the very tip of the surface. Like I'm just scratching this, you know, it's like how deep does it go and how good is this for the applications that are public and, you know, the stuff that we'll maybe never see. So just.
Yeah.
blowing.
This is just the commercial model.
Yeah. And you interact with it and it's mind blowing.
Yeah.
It's just like it can do things, you know, I can do the job of 6 people now, you know, as unfortunate or as fortunate as that is, you know, so.
And they plug in all this AI to robotics to where, it's amazing and frightening all at the same time. You know, something I forgot to mention, we actually have a snack mix tonight provided by our inventor who's on assignment launching a new product, Eugenia Kelly. But she has created this snack mix. We're calling it Genius Mix. We had it at our open house. I've seen some people have been munching on it already, but keep an eye on this. We may be doing something with this in the near term here. But very cool, and thank you, Eugenia, for providing these for us. We really do appreciate it. I love the name on this, Genius Mix. So we may be like I said, stay tuned.
Thank you.
Thanks, Eugenia.
Yeah.
So, all right. I think now we would move on to our segment of our featured inventor entrepreneur. And we've actually got him here with us, Justin. Tell us all
How
about.
long after you took a bite?
I waited for that on purpose. So I'm gonna pull your site up here.
I'll talk up the Genius Mix while I'm
Yeah, there you go.
better than Moose Mix, right? Don't wait around for your Moose Mix. Go ahead and get your Genius Mix today. Extranetwork.com.
Well, I'm still not Paul. Here we go. If I can type. There we are. So let me share my screen for this, and we'll let so Justin, well, yeah, just tell us about, because when we first met you all, and then you were telling us about what you did, I was pretty stoked. It was pretty amazing stuff. So tell us a little bit about Bizarre Bunny.
Yeah, absolutely. So Bizarre Bunny, man, we are an AI video production studio founded by Emmy-nominated director Jonathan Bowden. And he himself, he's for the last 20 years have worked for, all of the major studios. He cut promos was his thing, right? So for all of one of my personal favorite TV shows of all time is Supernatural. And he got to work, he got to work on those. That was fun. Star Trek and NCI, it just goes on down the line. So when I got introduced to him, I was a little on the fence about AI videos. I was like, don't know. Especially I'm semi-active. My side hustle here is I'm semi-active in the music community, and here in the music community, you talk about AI, it's not good, right? So everybody, so I was like, all right, we'll see how it goes. But I met with them. I saw the videos. It's Saul was, I guess, capable whenever there is an expert behind it, because just same thing for me, right? I mean, I use AI to elevate the things that I already did and the knowledge that I already possessed, right? So seeing the creatives take that and do the same thing, there's no way that I could, seeing their creative process and the prompting and the storyboarding and mood boarding and all the different things that they do. It's definitely a myth, right? That you can walk off the street and just get one of these platforms and start making, top tier videos. So it's definitely one of those things where the people who were at the top of the field before, especially in the videography. I mean, this is the third or fourth digital revolution in the last, 15, 20 years. So it's not something new to them. It's a new tool. They've come through, they've already come through that. So about a year ago, John switched over to full AI video production, with a focus on, I guess, to start advertising, which now, there's a lot of different verticals that we and applications, I guess, rather that we've moved into. But on the surface, we do video advertising, continued medical education, virtual sales letters, right? We do a big source for us recently has been say like pre-development real estate videos. So taking these blueprints and mock-ups, and they've never had that opportunity before. So for us, it's a lot less of and this is another thing that I found interesting and exciting to join and have my name a part of, is that it is one of the few things in AI that's not particularly taking jobs, because with video, it's increased access to everyone. It's not, you don't have to drop 30, 40,000 on a campaign anymore, right? I mean, we can do, 5K a month, right? And you've got 90 to 120 seconds of video, and that can be 40 assets, right? So it's like you've got widespread campaigns for much less, and especially as the world moves to like CTV advertising and targeting and things like that. So that's what we're setting ourselves up for. And we've got a few different motions here, right? So we've got and we do vertical sales, and we're into 20 different verticals now. Like I said, the most lucrative for us has probably been real estate, automotive, medical. We've got a product set to launch. It's a modeling feature, right? So we can, essentially model, say Keller Williams, for example. We can go in and model 1,000 reps and make 2 or 3 commercials for them, and then drop those reps in regionally, so they've got localized advertising at scale, so we can do that, right? Or select large law firms or something like that, you know, that we would be able to apply there. So we're attacking the verticals. We're also doing licensing, which it's kind of interesting. We spoke about McDonald's earlier, right? And kind of just franchising. We've been very, very careful that it's not franchising, we have licensing here. But so we're licensing the brand out, and we've got 4 locations currently signed and operating, and that's Dallas, LA, Belfast, Ireland, and Athens, Greece. But we've got 10 in LOIs, you know, moving towards that, including, you know, Mumbai, Toronto, New York, Atlanta. So it's moving pretty quickly. I think the surprising thing for me and me joining, you know, and becoming a partner was just for growth, right? I mean, obviously that's been my my kind of background. I thought there would be more not pushback. I thought the conversations would be harder within the video community, and that it would mirror that that I see and hear in the music field, right? But that has just not been the case. I mean, everyone has been open. Like I said, they see it as a new tool. And so that's something else that we're doing, right? So we're licensing out the brand and attacking regional and local sales on top of our vertical sales. And then, you know, we've got some awesome partnerships in place. I spoke about, you know, Pay Me TV earlier, Web Out, they're, you know, one as well, some audience testing features. And it's just, I think for us right now, it's less about if we can sell it, because I think everybody has been interested. The conversations are going well. We're not running, especially business owners, we're not running into too many people who are just like, you know, AI, I don't want to use it, right? So that's not been an issue. Just getting in front of folks and deciding, because what we're selling, right? We don't sell video. We sell the evolution of the exchange of information, right? Because, you know, in the next 5 to 10 years, and we've already seen it, probably less than that, right? The next 5 years, people are spending less and less time reading and in PDF documents and brochures and all of these things. And I mean, you see with TikTok, right? I mean, all these short form videos and the micro series and all these things that they're trying to move to. You know, so that's where we're going to hedge in our bet is the exchange of information, not just advertising per se, but you know, like continued medical education. We're just taking old PDFs and training materials and making it engaging so people are sitting through and you know, and actually going through that process. So so yeah, I mean, it's been fun. There's so many different things that we are doing and attacking, and I guess the exciting news today that we can finally announce, we won the Art List Studio competition, which is a big deal for us. I mean, it's 100 prize, and well, to John and Johnny, our 2 lead creatives, right? No part in that, but you know, but that's the thing. We think the group of creators we have are the best in the world. You know, I think we're a startup, we're a bootstrap startup, right? So we're in the fun times, right? We're clocking in at, you know, 7 in the morning and working till, you know, 11 o'clock at night, and you know, trying to add, you know, head count and all that comes with the growth, right?
Well,
So
tell us a little bit about the bootstrap startup story.
yeah, but man, this has been a fun one, because I've been with my first startup was a bootstrap startup. I joined Science Technologies, but it was a completely different situation, right? They had operations kind of moving already. And the downfall for us then, unfortunately, was we had about close to 45% of our workforce in Kiev, Ukraine. And this was right before, you know, Russia. So that whole thing, we paid out as long as we could. We just lost a bunch of money, right? So when we merged with another company, actually here a Kentucky-based company, you know, we merged with, but so that was a different situation. And then since then, I've been essentially with funded startups exclusively, right? And even my last role was with some people familiar, some's not, but Y Combinator,
Yeah.
it was a Y Combinator startup. And I was with them through launch, through acquisition. We got acquired by Aircall in April, this year, which is how I found Bizarre Bunny, right? Kind of looking for my next
Wow, this
thing,
was
but
recent events. Wow.
Yeah.
yeah. So that was fun. It was a cool experience, and I myself, right? I didn't go through the YC school, but I was our first and only GTM sales hire through that experience. So I got to work alongside the two guys that were going through it. So for me, it was incredibly beneficial being able to, there's mixed reviews about YC, right? But I mean, they have a proven playbook and a method to go about it. And there's obviously, it's in a bubble though. I mean, you have so much more resources, and just having that little YC tag by your company on LinkedIn. I mean, the others that have gone through the program, it's like there's kind of that instant push that you get immediately, without having to do much work. It's like you've got that brand behind you without even having a company brand. So that was a different situation, but Bizarre Bunny the last 3 months has been completely different, right? I mean, it's something that's new. The AI part of it, I mean, that's not new to me. This is my third AI native, company. The first was Cass AI. It was a AI based therapy chatbot. So, and this was 2022, 2023, and I'm reaching out to health systems and doctors and, trying to talk to them about AI therapy. And well, it's not technically therapy. It was more of coping skills and things like that. Because my background at UK, I studied behavioral learning, and I wanted to be an addiction counselor. I worked at Eastern State Hospital for about 3 years out of college, and thought for sure that that's what I would do for the rest of my life. But then, got the opportunity to enter the startup world, and I've kind of never looked back from there. But yeah, I mean, that's got me to this point, right? I mean, it's been fun, and with the Bizarre Bunny, the first 3 months, and I think this goes for every startup, it funded or not, it's like the first 90 days are hard.
Yes.
It's just, you really have to commit to it and really have to not only love the product, but love what you're doing. You really have to wake up every day and say, I'm excited to do this and clock in. And I do. I like it because I grew up on a tobacco farm. I mentioned that earlier. And then moved down to UK. But during that, I mean, it took me 6, 7 years to finish school because I was also working. It's called coal sampling, right? Vanguard Solutions Inc. out of Ashland. But we would travel to coal. I was the guy who just shoveled the coal off into bags, and we would sample and test the coal. And we were essentially an insurance company for the people who were buying. So I've done that. I worked in retail for a couple years, got me into sales. I was a manager at PetSmart over here at Brandon Crossing. And Daryl, RIP, man, I love you. He was an awesome dude. But and then JC Penney, I did sales, which was was okay, but not the greatest. So and then the hospital, which was a whole other thing. It was something I loved, but also realized I don't know if I was cut out to work in the mental health space. Just it's a lot to bring home with you and all of that, right? So, so I don't know. It's just I started working with startups, man. It's just it's fun.
It's addictive, and I think it's a whole nother world.
Yeah. Even
It
the ones that
really
went
is.
bad, I was like, I
Yeah.
would do this again.
Right,
Even
right.
when it's bad, it's good.
Yeah. Occasionally I'll hear something from somebody and they'll say, well, I just don't have a new start in me. And I'm thinking, I have a new start in me like every year or two.
Yeah.
There's always something new to jump into, and there's always a new opportunity. And that's the exciting, I mean, it's, if you want to look at it fictionally, it's almost like you're in an action adventure movie, because it is constantly going. There's things that'll happen, and maybe you'll have a moment where it's not going well, but you learn something from that, and then it helps you with the next one. So,
Couple
so
of questions from the audience. One big one that I'm seeing here is, so has there been any pushback from actresses? Do they get royalties if their likenesses are used, the whole nine yards?
Yeah, so that's something, yeah, we're, so there, maybe a handful of folks here. The bulk of this is being done in India, is the IP and individual likeness, licensing for individuals. And, there's obviously some groups that have worked with the Actors Guild already, but it's none of them have been successful. They've all closed. I've spoke to 3 folks who are doing this just in the last few weeks. Like I said, 2 of these folks are in India. But there's a huge push over there because there's a ton of AI video happening in that region.
Sure.
It's not particularly top tier or good. I mean, some of it is, some of it's awesome, but there's just a ton of it that's coming out. So they've started that push. It's not really started in the US just yet. What we will do at the moment is we've got we'll create these character boards with Nano Banana, and they're not real people. And John tries to do the best that he can to make features recognizable enough where it's not going to be like a real person. But yeah, that's there's a ton of people moving into that and asking about it. 1 and 2 hour, this is the screen test product is what I was speaking to earlier, where we're going to start modeling folks. And for these, the idea there is to, once they are modeled, and they're the ones who upload their picture, they control. So they would upload, 4 to 6 photos of themselves. They'll get renderings of different environments and different moods and all of these things. So it gives them the ability to kind of control how they are portrayed, and then the voice tones and all of that as well. And then through that process, since they are the ones deciding and documenting, then that gives them a referendum to go back to. We're hoping that will, but nobody's decided right yet if this is going to be the case. But we're hoping that will act as that paper trail, that they will be able to license their own likeness. But yeah, at the moment it's up in the air though.
Yeah, Wild West.
so you could take me and I could instantly lose 25 pounds and DH me 20 years. So
John's got a funny video where it's his face, and it's just it's him and a bodybuilder.
oh, I love it.
That's funny.
Well, I mean, what struck me about this, because we saw all the early AI videos that are out there, the 7 fingers and all the other weird things.
Really
But-
Will Smith
I
spaghetti.
think-
Yeah. But this struck me as just having such just professional Hollywood quality. It's like, and I want to say, I think the differentiator that you guys have is that it makes it engaging, like a movie makes it engaging. And for someone that's needing to really market the product or market whatever it is, whatever business they have, that's going to be the game changer, because like you said, it's how fast are they going to just move on to the next one? Yeah.
I know we were, that's a couple weeks ago. I don't know if it was last week. I think it was last week. LinkedIn added the AI slot button. Right. Yeah. So we were like, are we worried? No, we're not worried. We've seen this stuff. I mean, maybe like 3 months ago or 4 months ago. But I mean, even the last 6 weeks, I mean, I've seen the voice tracking, match, it's now matched up to the lips and the, I think they posted it to LinkedIn. A video we did, it's continuous AI, and they're like an email follow-up platform. But the video we just done for them is one of the crazier AI videos I've seen. I mean, it's their, the whole thing is rendered, and but it's got Tim and Gavin, the co-founders, And you would never know. I mean, you really wouldn't. And we've got one TV ad, to our knowledge, it's the first fully AI automotive ad running on the West Coast with the Del Grande Group. And then we just finished another one with them that they plan on running. But we usually don't deal with the distribution, so we don't get that data back typically unless we've got a good relationship, with that client. We've got one group that just finished their first. They ran a 45-day CTV campaign, and we got a 98% watch through rate.
Whoa, oh, wow.
Whoa,
Yeah.
okay,
So-
well, that's the differentiator.
Yeah. So we're very excited, but we're just now starting to. I wish I could talk more about this. Something about attribution data that they are cross-referencing and being able to take the time of day that they're running those ads and then, putting it beside their website visits, and then being able to actually attribute that to a CTV ad. But
Interesting.
yeah, it's promising stuff. I mean, like I said, we're still
Yeah.
early, but we'll
Yeah,
see what it goes.
so if somebody's interested in Bizarre Bunny, where do they need to go?
Well, okay, so we've got two websites. I'm fixing this now. We've got bizarrebunny.com. It's more of just about, right? But if you want to really watch our videos, go to studio.bizarrebunny.com. And we've got a YouTube channel as well, right? So you can go there and look through. But the big thing for us will be our first TV show launching soon. And you can see the pilot already, and this is through this art list competition. It's called Three Bells at Blackwood Hall. John, he likes doing we're excited for Halloween. He likes doing the creepy videos. So that'll be our first full, I think it's maybe 8 episodes, maybe 10, something like that. But within the next 4 months, that should be live. So
All right, wow.
What, so instead of just asking you plain how the clients work with you, for us, for Kinnovative, we wanted to work with Bizarre Bunny on one of our products for advertising. With what would that process look like? How do you guys choose what clients you work with? And can you walk us through what that process is?
Oh yeah, for sure. So if you've ever went through that traditional video production process to get a commercial, essentially the same, except we are removing the shooting process, right? So, but we'll meet. So essentially, within a 7 to 10 day period, depending on how fast the client can get back with us and set up the meeting. Within that 7 days, we'll have a kickoff call where we will, coming out of that, we do the scripting, mood boarding, and storyboarding. So within like 72 hours, they have all of that. As long as they sign off same day, they start on the video. Each of our creators can do about 2 60-second videos per week. So we'll usually just throw one person on that. Takes them about 2 days for 60 seconds. And then preferably we'd like to be between 10 and 14. Right now we're sitting at about 17-18 day delivery period, but that's still, I mean, people were before looking at 3 to 6 months, right?
Yeah.
So
So theoretically, in a 3-week period, we sit down with you and we're putting out a commercial at this quality online on whatever platforms, however we distribute it.
yeah, and usually in a 2-week period we can do for a package, which 60 seconds of video for us currently. We're reevaluating because we kind of really pushed back, but currently we're at $5K for 60 seconds of video, which is maybe 5% of traditional costs, 10%, right? So and our ideal setup, though, and what most people will do will be, 8,500 to 12K, which is 60-second brand video a month, 30-second, some like educational or like, something like that. And then, 5 to 10 UGC videos. And the UGC stuff, we can do, and it's so good. I mean, you would never know. I'm sure some of the stuff that you see scrolling now has got to be AI if we're doing it. I'm sure others are as well, but UGC content, I mean, you can pay the creators for not, it's not that expensive to even get it,
Yeah.
live. So that's something we can do. We'll just kind of throw it in, but we can do those like sidewalk interview things and all the different little, we do with a lot of, say brands that are going on like Shopify or something like that. We'll do just the simple like opening packages and showing them whatever it may be. So,
Okay.
Mm.
but
Yeah.
about 14 days typically weekends.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That is wild.
Mm.
Normally it takes 14 days just to figure out what you're even gonna do and coordinate it.
Yeah.
And you guys are already spinning it out, ready to go.
Yeah. And the, and it's just cool. I mean, you get to sit in with a director who has done all these cool things and even the other creators, I mean, they're top-notch guys. And we've got one of the guys will come in and do some work with us. He's ran like the apartment.com campaigns for the last years and a bunch of stuff for food and all this stuff, right? So the creators themselves, I don't know. I think that's the value for us. I mean, especially a year from now, there's going to be so many people that are doing AI video and doing it proficiently. But the thing that AI will never is taste, that goes through music
Exactly.
or anything, right? I mean, it's like we still need the humans who can see something and say, "Man, that's good."
Yeah.
That's
the
makes
key
me feel
right there.
So, but
That's cool.
Absolutely.
Thanks so
Cool.
much.
Any other questions from?
I mean, funny enough, there were like 3 other questions, but they've all been covered already.
We answered them. Answered them.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So much.
all right, cool. Thank you so much. Well, keep us posted and yeah, I'm looking forward to being 20 pounds lighter 20 years ago.
yeah.
So, all right. Well, I think we're about to wrap up here. Any parting thoughts? David, go with you first. I got you on the spot.
You got me on the spot. Yeah, just keep on keeping.
All right.
Keep on, man.
All right.
And for me, I've closing thoughts. I'm closing thoughts.
All right. Cool.
The one last thing I want to say, man, if you're watching this in Kentucky, I am trying to get involved in the local ecosystem here. So if you got other stuff that you're doing like this, reach out to me and through these guys, and I would love to come. So
Well, cool.
that's been a big absence of me. I mean, I've been on the working with a lot of just national folks remotely, and I've realized here in the last 6 months, I was like, man, I don't know anybody here in the local ecosystem that does what I do. So I don't know. It's been great to meet you guys.
Likewise.
Wonderful. Absolutely. Handsome Ransom.
Yeah, so one of my favorite things tonight was.
You finished it.
I
God.
I was hungry, man. I came here and didn't eat. So did Ben.
I'm on
Might as
John
well
too.
pick on the electrician. No, it's just a great opportunity to come together. And so I think this hopefully is inspiring to other people out there as well. It's like, we've got all kinds of different backgrounds of people here, physical therapists, a bizarre bunny, electrician, all these different people. So, I mean, great ideas can come out of that. It doesn't matter, we're covering the thing with the guy, singer, he did so many other things until he really hit. And so I would say this, because I've been an entrepreneur pretty much my entire life, been in the electrical business on my own for quite some time, give your opportunity time to season 2. Don't lose hope. Keep moving forward in this, because there are going to be a lot of dark days until there's light, right? Everybody can testify to that. So that would be my closing thoughts around this. And this has just been a lot of fun for me. And yeah, it's just been great.
Yeah.
We'd love to have you. Bennett.
All right. I agree with Ransom. Some days are better, some days aren't. You just gotta keep plugging away at it. No, I think, you know, the groups like this, being around these guys, being around Don, I think it's essential in your journey. I've been fortunate enough to sit here with Don at this table for the last 7 or 8 years, so that's been a blessing. And so anything you guys can do to stay in a group like this or just meet with people at back where you're from, I think it does a lot more than you think it does until you get away from it and you're like, man, I got to get back into that. And I think these guys are attesting to that right now. So it's good to have all you guys here, and we'll see you next week.
All right, Leo, any parting thoughts? I left you for last.
I mean, that dovetails. I mean, communicate with each other. That's the most important thing. You know, I mean, we were talking about mushrooms earlier. Mushroom communicates with each other. We're communicating with you virtually. Mushrooms are probably talking about this.
We've been talking about you,
Don't get
mushrooms.
wallflower, reach out.
Nobody wants to dance with the
Yeah,
wallflowers.
there you go.
All right. Well, again, be sure and watch your email announcements. If you're on our email list, if you're not, go to actionetwork.org and be sure and sign up. Be sure and check out all the things that we have. We have upcoming open meetings. We have upcoming members only workshops. Support our let's build what's next, what we're doing here at the new incubator accelerator space. We have a very unique incubator accelerator space. I don't think I've seen very many that have a warehouse. So it's pretty different here, but check all of that out. actionnetwork.org. Watch us on YouTube. We've got a lot of videos out there on Empowered Inventing TV, and stay close and just keep on. Well, our next open meeting is going to be September. Leo doesn't know.
Sometime in September.
Sometime first Tuesday in September.
Just keep showing up.
Actually, let me see.
Yeah.
Get it right.
Oh, it is September 1st. All right. And then the workshop's the September the 8th, and then our next Inventor Friday, September 11th. So be sure and mark that down on your calendar. Watch for it. Get on our email list. And I hope you really enjoyed tonight. I hope this was helpful for you. I hope you had a lot of fun. I know we did. And we will look to see you on the next meeting, workshop, online, whatever, or on the next video. Thanks so much, everybody.
Everyone.
Goodbye.